Welcome back to TCCP, the Cigar Cypher Podcast, where the smoke stays smooth, the talk is real, and the knowledge burns slow. I'm your host, David, and today we're diving into one of the most misunderstood yet most important parts of your cigar. Right? The wrapper. That's right. The outer leaf that gives your cigar its look, its flavor, its attitude. We're breaking down the three big dogs, Connecticut, Maduro, and Habano. What makes them different, how they're made, and why picking the right wrapper can change your entire smoking experience. And yes, I know. Before you roll your eyes, yes, I know that experienced smokers know all about this. But here at TCCP, we want everyone to gain value. And that means the experienced, but also those who are newly joining the brother and sisterhood of the leaf. This is need to know information. And if you're experienced, still, stay till the end. Who knows? You might learn something new, or at least enjoy a new perspective.
Welcome to the Cigar Cypher, the podcast where the rich aroma of tobacco meets the spark of conversation. Let us guide you through the captivating world of cigars, from the ancient art of rolling to the secrets of perfect pairings with coffee, whiskey, rum, and more. Whether you're a seasoned aficionado or just curious about your first puff, this is your invitation to join the Cypher. So grab your favorite cigar, settle in, and let's get started. The Cigar Cypher, a member of the Buenos Dias Media Podcast Network, where the smoke tells the story.
Yes, so you know how it goes. Grab your favorite stick, pour yourself something worthy, and let's talk leaf. I mean, usually the first thing we see on a cigar, right? It's the wrapper. Aside from maybe fancy bands and colors, it's the wrapper. And most times, especially when you're a new cigar smoker, you might make a decision to try a new cigar based on what the wrapper looks like and whatever ideas you might have had about the color of the wrapper and the cigar strength, right? We all come with these biases. But before we light up this episode fully, make sure to follow the Cigar Cypher Podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio. And you can also find us on video format on platforms like YouTube and Rumble for when we drop episodes in video format. Plus, we also drop exclusive content that only comes out in video format. So please hit that like and subscribe button, and remember to drop your comments, opinions, and ideas in the comment section. Or send us a message by emailing us at thecigarcypher@gmail.com.
The views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Dias Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
Okay, so before we jump into our topic, we got to start with our cigar highlight for today. And the cigar highlight for today is brought to you by thegentleman'storch.com. Let's shine a little spotlight on today's cigar highlight, The Man-O-War Ruination by AJ Fernandez. Now listen, this cigar is not for the timid. This is a Nicaraguan beast dressed in a gorgeous Ecuadorian Habano wrapper with Nicaraguan and Honduran fillers that pack enough firepower to wake up your ancestors. The first few puffs hit you with pepper and spice, But don't be fooled. As it burns down, you'll taste leather, cocoa, and a deep, earthy sweetness that's straight up seductive. This is Habano done right. Bold, flavorful, and unapologetically strong. Yet balanced, like a fighter who knows when to jab and when to glide. If you've been sticking to mild Connecticuts, this cigar is your graduation ceremony. Pair it with a neat pour of bourbon or dark rum. Sit back and let it remind you why AJ Fernandez is in a league of his own. And fair warning, this one's called Ruination for a reason. It'll ruin your tolerance for average cigars. Okay, so let's start at the top. 3 types of wrappers. What exactly is a wrapper? The wrapper is the outermost leaf of your cigar. It's the suit. It's the cover of the book that basically you're not supposed to judge a book by, but you do anyway. It's the first impression when you see a cigar. It's what makes you pick up that cigar from the shelf, to touch it, get a feel, maybe the smell of it. But here's what most people don't realize. The wrapper contributes up to 60 to 70% of the cigar's flavor. Yeah, that beautiful leaf isn't just decoration. It's doing the heavy lifting. The wrapper is carefully grown, fermented, and aged to perfection to fit the vision of the manufacturer for that cigar. It's like the filet mignon of tobacco, the most delicate, flavorful, and expensive part of the cigar. And depending on where and how it's grown, it gives you a totally different experience. So let's meet the main characters in today's smoke story, right? Like we said, we have 3 main ones: Connecticut, Maduro, and Habano. I think it's safe to say that most new smokers gravitate towards the Connecticut wrappers. We usually all come with the connotation that light-colored wrappers means a light, smooth cigar. And even though in most cases this might be sort of true, you learn that it's not always the case. Like, for example, this is why Perdomo's 10th anniversary champagne cigar has been one of my favorites. It's a Connecticut wrapper, light-colored, but not a light cigar. Don't get me wrong, I don't gravitate towards strong, peppery cigars, but this cigar is like the perfect balance between both worlds. So yes, the Connecticut wrapper equals light, creamy, and smooth. It's considered sort of the good morning cigar or the brunch of the cigar world. Connecticut wrappers are usually grown in, you guessed it, Connecticut shade, hence the name. Though you'll also find some grown in Ecuador under similar shade-grown conditions. The shade method uses cheesecloth tents that filter sunlight, giving you thinner, silkier leaves with a golden color. Flavor-wise, think cream, nuts, cedar, and a hint of sweetness. Perfect for beginners or for that first cigar of the day. It's a type of smoke that says, I handle business before noon. But don't mistake smooth for boring. A well-made Connecticut still has complexity. You have to slow down and let it speak. Some people find the Connecticut wrapper to have a bitter taste. Some smoke them in the beginning of their cigar smoking journey and then move on to others, and some just stop smoking Connecticut's altogether. Me personally, I still enjoy them in my weekly rotation, and yes, I do enjoy a good Maduro or Habano wrapper, but Connecticut's are always in my humidor. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the second wrapper of today's Cypher, the Maduro wrapper. You are listening to the Cigar Cypher Podcast, a Buenos Dias media production. we want to take a moment to shout out the Cigar Rights of America, the CRA, one of the very few organizations protecting your right to light up without government overreach. And you know how we've all seen how that's become normalized. So head over to cigarrights.org to become a member today. Support the leaf, defend the culture.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild, or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild, excellence forged in unity.
And we are here on the Cigar Cypher Podcast, brought to you by Buenos Dias Media, creators of Grit on the Rocks podcast and El Pulso Hispano Spanish content. Now, let's turn to the dark side, the Maduro. The word Maduro means ripe in Spanish. It is also used to describe maturity. When a man is referred to as Maduro, they're saying he is a mature man. And just like a perfectly aged whiskey, Maduros are dark, rich, and bold. The darkness doesn't come from dye or chemicals or magic. It comes from fermentation. Tobacco leaves used for Maduro wrappers are fermented longer and at higher temperatures. That process brings out natural sugars, creating that signature sweet, earthy flavor. The flavor profile might be something like chocolate, espresso, molasses, pepper, and earthiness. If Connecticut is like a light roast coffee, Maduro is that double shot of espresso that wakes you up and tells you stories about the old country. Maduros are also great for pairing with bourbon, rum, black coffee, espresso, or even dark beer. But here's a pro tip, my friends. Don't fear the dark. Just because it's black and oily doesn't mean it'll knock you out. Some Maduros are actually smoother than lighter cigars, like a well-balanced dessert cigar after dinner. And finally, let's talk about the Habano, the rebel, the wild card, the spice in your humidor. Habano wrappers come from Cuban seed tobacco, now grown in places like Nicaragua, Ecuador, and the Dominican Republic. They're typically sun-grown, which means full sunlight, thick leaves, and bold flavors. If Connecticut is the gentleman and Maduro is the night owl, Habano is the guy who shows up with a leather jacket and steals the show. Flavor-wise, think pepper, spice, leather, and wood. This is a full-bodied experience, more aggressive, more complex, more personality. Habano cigars pair beautifully with rye whiskey, mezcal, or even black coffee. You feel it in your chest. It's confident, unapologetic, masculine. But here's the catch. A poorly made Habano can overwhelm you. Always go for trusted brands and let the cigar rest in your humidor before lighting up. A young Habano can bite. A rested one will dance. So here's your recap for today. Connecticut equals light, creamy, smooth, quote unquote, the breakfast cigar. Maduro, dark, sweet, and rich, the after dinner cigar. And Habano, quote unquote, the spicy, bold, and full of life, the statement cigar. Each wrapper tells a story, and as you grow in the cigar world, you'll find yourself switching between them depending on your mood, depending on your drink, and depending on your company. It's not about which is better. It's about which one fits the moment. So, all right, my friends, that's the Leaf Talk for today. Whether you're a Connecticut fan, a Maduro lover, or a Habano loyalist, remember, cigars are like people. You learn more about them the longer you sit and listen. If you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with your cigar crew. Follow the Cigar Cypher Podcast on Instagram. You can find us as the Cigar Cypher, where the smoke meets conversation. I'm David, reminding you to keep your ash long, your humidor stocked, and your conversations meaningful.